Silver Dancer 98 here, back at it again with another storytime video for Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Now, you've been all through there with me through the background chapter, then the prologue chapter, and we've also had our first fight chapter. Now comes a very different take on the game. We're doing a rescue chapter here, where this is happening a few days after the fight against those bandits at the seaside town. You see, Ike and the others had just returned to their base a few days after they got done with that mission. And, after resting, training a bit more, getting used to the fact that, yes, they had to take lives, unfortunately, Ike and Boyd are stronger than ever and even training getting near Oscar's level in ability and skill. Titania is still watching over them and making them run to the bone daily in training, making all three boys really regret becoming full-time mercs at this point in time. But nothing could have prepared them for what's coming next. After a hard day of training, the boys are introduced, were introduced to Riss, the healer of the mercenary group. He's a soft-spoken man who's a very friendly individual. He's also been training Mist in various healing and medical arts. He's a priest by nature, and a very good one at that. He's joined the mercs from being able to be with them after having his temple split up from lack of people coming to their pilgrimage. As a result, he's now there helping them out with their various healing needs after missions, or even during missions if he's needed. He comes one day down to check on Mist and Rolf, who have been spending time together, Rolf being the youngest brother of Boyd and Oscar, and good friends with Mist. But as he goes to their room, he sees that the door seems to have been broken into, finding a letter inside the room. Immediately, he brings it to Titania. After seeing the note and bringing it to Titania, the boys realize one thing after Titania reads it, not realizing that the boys are listening in after her training. She reads it, realizing it's the remnant group of the bandits they've just taken out, and they want revenge for having their men destroyed and captured. As such, they took Mist and Rolf as hostages, and if they do not give them gold and their remaining members out of jail, then they will kill Mist and Rolf. Immediately, Titania tells them that she needs to go and grab Shinin, Getri, and Griel, the other members of their merc band, to go and take out these bandits, and tells Riss not to tell the others. While she rides off, Riss immediately goes to tell the boys to resume training when they all grab him and go, "You're leading us to where that note says they are." Uh-oh. And he's dragged off with them. And now we open to here, where the bandits have a pretty interesting setup. There's a shed in the back that's their bandit base where they have a tied up Mist and Rolf tied to one of the support beams. Rolf is crying while he's realizing that he wants to be home safe with his brothers, while Mist is trying to calm him down. Outside though, the bandit leader is just going, "Man, that brat's an annoying crier." "What you mean, boss?" He's still whining. I figure he'd man up or something, but nope, he's a crybaby through and through." "I know, right? Boss, someone's here." "Yo," as they greet Ike and the others rather roughly. "You got the money or my men?" Ike immediately comes out. "No. Instead, we want you to release my sister and their brother. If you do, we might let you live." "You think you can intimidate us? We've got at least a lot. We got a lot of bandits here." "Not too good at counting." We got a lot of bandits here. You're just 4 people. Most of you boys at that." Boyd, "Hey, you leave my namesake out of this." "I said boys." Oscar, "Boyd, don't get too into it." Riss, "Alright, you guys keep them off me. I'll keep you healed up." "We'll keep them off your wrist, don't you worry." "Yeah, leave it to us." "Indeed, we'll take care of them." "Oh really? You'll take care of us? But who's gonna take care of you?" They all immediately point back to Riss with deadpan expressions of, "Really? Really?" As Riss is holding up his staff going, "Ah, crud, they got a healer with them. Well, then aim for the healer first. Charge!" Immediately the first few bandits come rushing at them, swords and axes at the ready. Oscar countercharges the swordsman, rearing up with his horse to make the swordsman back up as he slams down with his horse and chunks him right through the chest with his spear, taking the guy out immediately. While that's happening, two other bandits, one sword, one axe wielder, come charging from the side trying to get into Riss's guard. Riss immediately runs backing up, getting closer to Oscar, and Boyd and Ike immediately jump towards each one. Boyd manages to chop through the axe handle of the axe wielder and then come up and chop into his chest as well, cleaving right through the chest plate, taking out that bandit, while Ike engages the swordsman in sword-on-sword combat, immediately clinging with a couple of well-paced slashes until finally he manages to come up and gut him right into the chest as well, finishing him off. There's a small shudder through Boyd and Ike as they both realize they just killed again, but after taking the last few days to process it and realize this is what they need to do to protect their loved ones, they harden their resolve and eyes as they come forward to the next guy. Immediately, the next bandit goes, "Holy moly, these brats ain't greenhorns, they're ready to kill. Then they better be ready to die." He immediately comes countercharging as Boyd and Ike ready themselves, realizing this guy's got a steel axe versus an iron axe, showing he's a little bit stronger than the average bandit. As he comes swinging down, Boyd and Ike immediately cross their blade and axe, meaning they've managed to scissor it and block the axe in between, leaving them defenseless for now as they're interlocked with this bandit. He's trying to muscle down them, but Ike and Boyd's combined strength is holding him off. Until suddenly there's a spear coming below their crossblades and into the bandit's chest, making him go, "That's not fair." After their exhaustion and realizing they both got a small cut from their fights, Riss immediately comes over and heals both of them immediately with his staff, make sure they're in prime condition. "Come on, we've only dealt with about half of them. There's still quite a few left." The other back squad of the bandits realize, "Holy moly, sir, they've already cleaved through half our men." "Alright, listen up, we're going for the hostages." "Missed. Rolf!" Immediately they come charging in, trying to reach the hut before the bandits. But as the bandit leader turns to try and get in, suddenly from the trees comes Titania rushing in, brandishing her axe on horseback and coming into the bandit that was heading for the shack, beheading him immediately, making his body run a few more steps before it collapses to the ground, while the head rolls away. The other bandits immediately look, going, "Oh no, they got a paladin with them. How are we gonna fight that thing?" "Thing? I'm no thing. I'm a woman." "Could have fooled me." The bandit leader's trying to hold off Titania's heavy swinging axe as she's on horseback, literally running circles around him. The other three bandits are trying to see if they could help him or try and run, before Ike and the others come charging up behind them. Immediately they turn to try and fight for their lives. Boyd immediately comes clashing with another axe user as Ike jumps over Boyd by slamming down both his and the guy's shoulders. Boyd's shoulder in this case, and the opponent's head, knocking them loose, allowing Boyd to push his axe aside and cleave down to the guy's shoulder, taking him out. Oscar rushes by as Ike leaps and slashes with a downward blow against the sword user. An axe user tries to come up behind Ike, trying to swing into him, and Oscar comes immediately upward with his lance, shunking him as Ike manages to break the blade and cleave down to the other guy's body. Both axe and sword user go down as they look to the bandit leader, who's looking towards them going, "How did it go wrong?" Seeing a gigantic gash along his back as the tiniest axe is flicked free of blood. She looks immediately to them as they go, "Titania, thank goodness you're pissed at us, aren't you?" "Glad you noticed, Ike." "Oh, come on, Titania, you can't blame us. We wanted to save our sibling." "Oh, that is quite the glare." "Indeed, Boyd." "Look, Titania, ma'am, we just wanted to protect our siblings, and I commend you for that, Oscar. But there is a protocol to this. You boys were in over your head, even with Riss here to help you. What happens if you had taken a fatal wound? Greel would have been responsible. I would have been responsible without either of us being able to be here." "Wait, so you found Father and the others already?" "No, actually. I didn't get a chance to, and I realized that when I came back to grab my shield, because I forgot it at the base, none of you were anywhere in the training fields, and Riss was missing from the main building. So I put two and two together, given how the note was missing, and followed you here. Instead, I took the time to loop around while you dealt with the forward bandits so no one could get behind us." "Understood. Yes, ma'am. You will be going through a training course on this. But all in all, good work. I'm also glad our talks helped each other." "Yeah, it did." "I'm glad to see you're shaping up well. But don't be so instantaneous on taking lives. Sometimes it's better not to take one. Yeah, we know, yeah. After all, you may just find an ally waiting for you among the enemies, who just wants to talk and doesn't realize a bad decision when they're doing it. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, you! Immediately they all turn towards the hut, as they see a swordsman has managed to hide out in the hut and has Rolf by the neck. If you want to live, and if you want to see this boy keep on living for tomorrow, you'll give me the gold and let me walk away. All immediately see around, seeing that Miss is behind him as well, tied up to the door jamb. She's trying to break free while gagged, while Rolf is going, "Brother, help! Shut your yap, boy! Rolf, your weapons, drop them, now!" As the blade gets dangerously close to Rolf's neck. Ike immediately drops his blade, going, "Don't hurt him. Don't hurt either of them. We'll give you the gold." Boyd, "Damn it." Oscar, "Right." Titania, "And the shield, Missy. I've seen how deadly you are while fighting my leader." She tosses it to the side as she realizes she's still dangerous with it. After all, one of the blows that the leader tried on her was to attack her shield to weaken her arm. Instead, she deflects it and bashes him straight in the face, disorientating him as she swings around and gashes him in the back, right as the boys came up. "Good. Now if you're all done, give me the gold, and I'll let the boy and the girl go. Got it?" Suddenly they hear from nearby. "We understand." "What?" As the bandit turns, suddenly there's an arrow in his head between his eyes, making him slump to the ground dead. The others look immediately to the bandit, going, "What? Huh?" Titania, "About time you made it here." "Well," immediately jumping from the trees is a red-haired archer named Shinnon, wielding quite the powerful bow, given it's a steel bow, a bow reinforced with metal linings. As he comes forward, he also hears a heavy clanking coming from behind him. The boys immediately grab the weapons thinking it's another bandit, but then they see a blue armored knight coming up named Gatry. "Shinnon, you gotta let me catch up sometimes. If I had, Rolf would be dead. And I don't like it when my apprentice is threatened." "Thanks, Master Shinnon." "Oh my god, Rolf, for crying out loud, you've got to improve your attitude. You're not going to intimidate anyone with that." But then again, you did alright as you are." "Thanks." "Yeah, just don't make a habit of it." Either way, good to see you're safe. Now, though, we have something else to deal with. Why were we not told about this kind of mission while we were still with the commander? Because I knew you guys would rush back here to protect him. Like we did. The signal works too well sometimes. Indeed. You know, this is why I don't tend to like working with kids. Immediately, Ike and Boyd. Hey! I know what I said. I think I can do it. Gatry, good to see you're safe, as he's untying Mist and ungagging her. She immediately runs to Ike as Ike envelops her in a hug, showing love and care. "You okay, Mist?" "It's alright. They didn't do anything to Rolf and I." While Rolf is being noogied by his older brother Boyd and comforted by Oscar, an odd combination to say the least of comfort and pain. But they're both showing slight tears in their eyes. They all immediately go back to base, where Greel is looking very displeased with this, asking why he wasn't let known about this before he went on the mission. Titania immediately speaks up, going, It's my fault, Commander. I didn't realize that there'd be more bandits than what we saw in the town." Even Riss, "Indeed, Commander, they caught us off guard with this maneuver." Greel, "Very well. Well, as long as we're sure that won't happen again, we make sure we gather all the facts from future missions about the size of the bandits we're eliminating. I think we can let this one slide. After all, none of us thought there'd be a second commander." "Indeed, yeah. In the meantime, Ike, Boyd, Riss, Oscar, good work. You saved our youngest members of the troop. But that doesn't mean you're going to slack off. This might have replaced your sparring mission today, but it doesn't mean anything for tomorrow." Oh man. Oh, jeez. While Boyd, Oscar, and Rissa are all complaining, Ike looks excited though. That means, I'm here for a few days, Ike. I'll get to teach you a bit more. Remember, you might have struck a blow against me, a very solid one. But that doesn't mean you don't have more to learn. Yes, Father. In the meantime, everyone, take a well-deserved break, well-deserved meal. We got some food cooking. Wait, who's cooking right now? Soren. Immediately, Oscar, oh dear God, as he rushes in. Right as he rushes into the kitchen, with some smoke coming out. From inside, they hear Oscar, seriously, Soren, how do you burn turkey? Well, I just use a fireball spell. You don't use magic for cooking! Immediately, the entire camp bursts into laughter at how Soren has not changed much with his lacking of common sense in these kinds of situations. An exasperated Oscar comes out going, we're going to need to hunt more. Shannon immediately looks to Ike, Boyd, and Titania. So, drawing an arrow. Who wants to fight? Who wants to try and beat me in hunting? Titania immediately rushes off with her axe ready. Boyd and Ike take off to another part of the forest, while Shannon immediately just chuckles. Suckers. Immediately going over and starting to shoot down some geese and quails he sees nearby. Gatry just standing guard at the gate like normal, while Riss comes over to heal any remaining bruises from Commander Greel from his mission, and Miss and Rolf from their ordeal. All in all, everything seems back to normal. But while all this happens at the mercenary camp, something strange is brewing in the north. Dayan, the country, with a new king, has begun their march. What will happen during this march? No one knows yet. But it is coming straight for Crimea's capital. And Ike's fate will change from just a boy in a mercenary band to something far greater for the future. Thank you all for enjoying this storytime chapter today. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope that me ignoring the bloodier and more gruesome details certainly helped you understand that while it is going to be a violent story, I'm not going to go into great detail about how someone's gets are looking, to be fair. So all in all, I hope you're enjoying this. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below if you're enjoying my videos, and let me know if there's any other games you want me to do or any other reaction videos you want me to perform. And as always, let me know if you have any requests for a dance song you want me to try. And I do hope you also enjoy an upcoming video series I'm starting. I'm going to be doing some little tips to help you out with your daily life for exercise and nutrition, because I am being trained to become a fitness instructor. But that is neither here nor there for now. Until then, please let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. This is Silverfang Dancer 98, signing out.